Hey, everybody, and welcome to Let's Gay 1994. This is our second episode where we're going to be covering January 2nd, 1994, and all the stupid shit I was watching and am rewatching, and a lot of it I'm watching for the first time. So let's dive right into our Sunday, um, January 2nd, 1994. We are starting off every Sunday morning. You usually got up, if you were my age, 10, and you were watching Nicktoons. Sunday mornings were Nicktoons. So first up is Doug, and unfortunately, this is Doug's season finale, or series finale, I should say, when it was on Nickelodeon. It went on to air on ABC. I've never seen the Doug episodes that aired on ABC, the Disney's Doug. I don't even want to because I don't think what's his head even did the voice for it. Did he? I forget his name. The guy that he does so much voice work. He does Futurama. He does Ren and Stimpy. He does Doug. God help me, I can't remember his name, but he is the voice of Doug. He is Roger. He is all these characters, and I don't think he did the sequel series. So fuck that show. Why would I watch it? And maybe it's good. I have no idea. Maybe you are um someone who grew up on that shit. I only grew up on the Nicktoon shit. So the season or series finale, we'll call it, aired this day, and it was Doug graduates, which is appropriate because I think he was in middle school though, right? So he graduates from middle school, and Doug's bad trip. Unfortunately, they took Doug off of Hulu because I think that's where I was watching it, so I can't watch it anymore. So I didn't get to watch Doug Graduates or Doug's Bad Trip, which is too bad because it's such a great show. But in Doug Graduates, according to Wikipedia, Doug and his friends are getting ready for the end of sixth grade and are graduating from Bluffington School. Sixth grade, yeah, they're so young. Doug feels a bit sad about leaving, so he tries to find Principal Butsevich. Did we ever see him? It was always the vice principal. Didn't Nickelodeon make you think that vice principals were a lot more important than they were? Because also, ironically, I'll be talking about this episode. The Welcome Freshmen series finale supposedly aired today. There's some conflicting dates on when that show aired as well. I'm not sure. But anyway, their vice principal was the main character in the show. Not the principal, the vice principal. Principal Littman. So I'm pretty sure he was vice, wasn't he? Or am I crazy? But in Doug, it was the same thing where it was their vice principal. Oh, what was the name of the? Maybe it'll show up in here, but it's not Butsevich. I don't know who this guy is. So anyway, Doug feels a bit sad about leaving, so he tries to find Principal Butsevich to talk to him. But when he finds out that Roger is as reluctant to leave the school as he is, Doug convinces Roger and himself that the new school will be great. It always works out well in the end, and Doug learns a new lesson. I'm sure he wrote about it in his little journal. So that is the first segment. The second segment was Doug's bad trip, which I guess is as summer begins. The funnies plan to drive across the country to visit the Great Painted Gorge. I remember this episode. I always think of like road trips. This is like one of those shows. It's a road trip episode, so it sticks out in my mind for that reason. Mr. Funny is committed to keeping to a schedule. Isn't that the dad in every fucking? Didn't they just do an episode of Pete and Pete like this? But Doug and Judy convince him to stop at several tourist traps along the way. The family isn't having any fun on the trip until they finally reach the stop that makes it all worthwhile. Those painted hills. And I remember thinking, like, I've never heard of the painted hills and thinking they must be incredible. And it seemed kind of underwhelming to me, honestly. I've never seen them in real life, but because they're based on it, like the Painted Gorge. I don't want to look like a dumbass here. Let me Google real quick. The Great Painted Gorge. I thought it was a real place. Is it not? Okay, there's Painted Gorge Road, California. Is that what they're talking about? The Painted Gorge? There's all of these, someone educate my dumbass on, in the comment section. Just rip me a new one for being so stupid. I don't know if there's really a Painted Gorge or not. You're likely thinking of Painted Canyon. This is what AI Overview is telling me. In the Mecca Hills Wilderness near Palm Springs, California. Famous for its vibrant, fault-fractured badlands. The canyon offers blah, 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 blah. So, anyway, moving right along. That was, Doug. And then Rugrats, of course, comes up next. I think our day always started off with Doug at 10 a.m. And then at 10:30, we get some Rugrats. And this episode, we had Cuffed and the Blizzard. So in the Blizzard, or no, Cuffed, sorry. Cuffed is first. Angelica suddenly accidentally handcuffs herself to Chucky with a gift that's being sent to charity, and things get worse when she loses the key. Kind of a, that there's so many episodes of shows I feel like where people are cuffed together like that, and this was our Rugrats version of that. Which, of course, it's going to be a pair of characters that hate each other, and I almost feel like Tommy and Angelica butt heads more, but Chucky's even more different. Tommy and Angelica are both pickles, so I guess they're feisty. But Chucky's more of a pushover, so it's more appropriate that they paired them up. So the blizzard has a snowstorm coming to the neighborhood, and the babies imagine they are sledding to the North Pole. It's kind of Muppet Babies-ish, if you ask me. So that was our Rugrats. Not my favorite episodes. Moving right along. Oh, shit. I didn't change the graphic. There's our Rugrats. It's a work in progress, y'all. I'm just starting this out, and I had my screen blocked, so I fucking didn't know. So anyway, that's our Rugrats. Now it's Rocko's Modern Life. It says day of season finales, though, with Rocko. And this is the season finale for season 1 with Cabin Fever and Rinse and Spit. And Rocko's Modern Life is such a great show. It, to me, is like with Ren and Stimpy, it was the breakout hit of the Nicktoons, the original 3. And it unfortunately was not consistent and like just came out so sporadically. And then the later seasons are just practically unwatchable. The first few seasons of Ren and Stimpy, though, are fucking brilliant. And Rocko's Modern Life, to me, it's almost like a spiritual successor in a way to Ren and Stimpy, even though Ren and Stimpy's still on. But it's a little bit more adult and has those adult jokes that you can pick up on. And so it's really fun as an adult to watch the show. But it's consistent throughout. Like, from start to finish, I feel like Rocko's was a great show, and I really love it. And sometimes I think it's a better show than Ren and Stimpy. But this was its season 1 finale. And these were great episodes. Cabin Fever. Did I change? Okay, yes. I'm such a dunce. Okay. Cabin Fever had Rocko and Heifer. They end up sharing a cabin, camping in the woods with the big heads. And then I think an avalanche comes down and they get stuck in the cabin, which is another like just overdone plot. But with the big heads, anything with the big heads, I'm in for. That's who Charlie Adler does the voices for them as well, who I mentioned last episode, and I just love him to death. He does Mr. Big Head, who's so hilarious. I love him. I think he's probably me as an adult, or maybe I'm Bev. Oh, Ed, she's my fucking favorite, and I love her. She's like so hungry. If you get what I mean by hungry. And I just love her. She's hilarious, and so is Ed Bighead. They're my favorite part of Rocko's Modern Life, probably. And then, of course, I don't know if he's in either of these episodes. Rinse and Spit, I think he is in it, because in Rinse and Spit, Filbert recruits Rocko to help him pass his dentist's exam. And there's a note. This episode marks the first appearance of Dr. Hutchison, which is his girlfriend in the future. Although some flirting happens between her and Filbert, and he describes her to Rocko as cute, the relationship status, other than student as teacher, is left ambiguous. But he eventually becomes his significant other. But I love Filbert. He's so funny, too. It's just a great show, Rocko's Modern Life. So I'm having a ball rewatching that. So that is it for Rocko. Moving along, now it's time for Welcome Freshmen. It aired its season finale, or series finale, I should say. And Welcome Freshman Center. Let's get center. Okay, Welcome Freshmen is I feel like the unsung, forgotten Nick show that nobody remembers but me. Or I should do a viral post. Does anybody remember this show, or is it just me? I hate those posts you see on Instagram where it's like they talk about Salute Your Shorts or something, as if no one would remember Salute Your Shorts. Am I the only one that remembers this show? Shut the fuck up. You're just looking for engagement. So anyway, Welcome Freshmen, though, I feel like is the forgotten, ugly, redheaded stepchild of the Nickelodeon shows, where we all remember, of course, Salute Your Shorts, and Hey Dude. I feel like those are the big ones. Of course, shows like Clarissa, Pete and Pete, which we'll get to. But Welcome Freshmen, I always loved it. And it was a great one, but nobody ever talks about it, unless maybe they're talking about the episode that Shanice guest starred in, where she's thinking, I love your smile. Which, of course, is a classic. But the show started off as like a sketch show, kind of, that almost reminded me a little bit of You Can't Do That on Television. but it in its third and fourth season turned into more of a proper like sitcom type show following the freshmen at Hawthorne High. Though they graduated, a lot of them graduated to be sophomores, so they introduced a couple new characters to be new freshmen. Although Walter got held back and was still a freshman. But this is our series finale though for the show, where they're all going to graduate from being freshmen to sophomores, and I guess they didn't want to do the same thing and bring in a new generation for the next episode. So I feel like they should have, because I really enjoyed the show and love these characters. And I did like the sitcom version of it, where I missed Merv and Tara, or Tara, whatever her name was. But Mr. Littman, of course, is the star of the fucking show. He's my favorite. He's so great. And I loved Graham and the new characters that they introduced. He was kind of just your like regular bohunk. And Alex, I think that was her name, right? She was the pretty one, pretty popular one. And Walter's just great too. He's the dumb one, the airhead. But in this episode, he finally graduates to become a sophomore, I believe. And then it's all about what they're going to do when they like over the summer. Um, like Walter's going to go camping with his dad or something, and Graham is going to go off on like a wilderness survival thing, and Alex is worried about him, so I think she tags along with Walter or something, and then Aaron's going to go work at the camp, and they're just going in their separate ways, but then by the end of the episode, they all converge in the same spot at the campground because of one reason or another, and it's just kind of funny and real cute and almost touching the way it wraps up. And I'm really going to miss the show, though, because I did like it. I don't know why people don't remember it as fondly as Hey Dude or Salute Your Shorts, but it got 4 seasons, though. Salute Your Shorts only got 2. I don't know what that's about. That's crazy. So that is our welcome freshman. Moving along, now we get to Pete and Pete. It used to air Sundays before going to Snick, I guess, according to like Nick Story and whatever else I've looked up. It may have had some, I think, like a premiere on Snick or something, but anyway, this episode aired on Sunday. And it is called Don't Tread on Pete. And let's see what this episode is about, shall we? According to IMDb, while Little Pete, I'm not a fan of Little Pete. He's just too mischievous, and as a cranky old man now, I'm like, calm down, Pete. What are you so upset about all the time? He's always got to rebel against something. I'm just like, calm the fuck down, Pete. So anyway, when Little Pete butts heads with an arrogant dodgeball coach, Big Pete finds he has 18 minutes to cram for a history test. Pete and Pete so hit and miss for me. I didn't like this episode. It was just not that fun. I liked the car trip episode, as I kind of mentioned before. That one was fun. I really liked the one where Little Pete, even though I don't like him, he had that rebellious thing where he didn't want to go to bed and stayed up all night with all his friends. And it was just really funny watching them all fall off one by one as they kept falling asleep. And it was just a well done episode that was quirky and funny, and I really enjoyed it. But this episode, not so much. So some of them are great, some of them are boring. This one was a stinker to me, but I was never a big Pete and Pete fan growing up, but I do get its appeal as an adult, and I like it. It's just I'm not as big a fan of Pete and Pete as I am, say, Clarissa or other Snick sitcom shows. So that was our Pete and Pete, the adventures of Pete and Pete, because they're adventurous. America's Funniest Videos. Of course, it was new Sunday night. This was the show my family would watch together. Every Sunday, we'd sit down. Although this is probably more like in the early 90s. By 1994, I don't really know if I was watching it anymore, but I am watching it now. And there's not really much to say because every episode is just, it's like, it was TikTok before we had TikTok, or Reels before we had Reels, where fails happen. And those are the ones I like, are the accidents caught on camera. And so often people submit videos where they like stage shit, or it's not an accidental thing they happen to find on camera. Remember America's Funniest People? That's the show that gets the ones where it's like, look at this funny thing I can do, and it's really stupid. It didn't last like America's Funniest Home Videos, because I think the success of AFH or whatever their acronym is, the success of it is that it's like kitten videos, cute cat videos, just stuff accidentally caught on camera that's funny, and I think those are the most successful ones. So anytime someone wins that isn't like a cute cat or something, I get pissed. Or a baby doing something funny, I'm mad. So anyway, every Sunday night you're gonna get some America's Funniest Home Videos. I'll be watching it. I probably won't update about it though, unless there's something significant going on. just because there's nothing really to talk about each episode. But that's AMV or AM whatever. Well, that's what it is called, right? AFV for America's Funniest Videos, not home videos. So, Seaquest DSV. Remember that one with Jonathan Brandis? I had such a crush on him. Uh, Poor God rest his soul. He's no longer with us. It's very sad. I think he passed away in like '03 or something, committed suicide. But he was on this show, Seaquest DSV. The only reason I ever watched it was because I had an older sister who liked Jonathan Brandis, and she had to record every episode of Seaquest DSV. I'm watching it for the first time because I don't remember it very well. And it's okay. It's kind of like Star Trek in the sea, and they've got a decent cast. One of the most notable members of the cast, which I haven't gotten to soaps yet, which might put half of y'all to sleep, but I'm a big soaps person. And Stacey Hyduck, however you say her name, she stars in this show, and she's currently playing Kristen DeMera and Susan Banks on Days of Our Lives. A hard act to follow after Eileen Davidson played those characters, but I do love her. She's really great in the role, and I really appreciate her and love her. So it's really fun to see her decades ago playing this character on Seaquest DSV. It's also got I forget the main guy's name. He was on the guy from Jaws. I've got my IMDb up. Roy Scheider was in this as the captain. Nathan Bridger, of course, Stacy. But it's a decent show. But it's not my favorite. They have a talking dolphin. Oh God, Darwin. He's actually an animatronic puppet. I didn't know that. He looks very realistic to me, although most dolphins don't talk in real life, so that should tip me off. But I thought they must use a real one sometimes, but I was reading somewhere that I think it is a fake dolphin throughout. So, I mean, obviously it's going to be way cheaper and less complicated to use to use animatronics. So, should have been a no-brainer and realized that. So anyway, the episode that aired on this Sunday, January 2nd, is better than Martians, where when the first manned mission to Mars, led by a personal friend of Bridger's, crashes into the ocean near a Southeast Asian confederation after returning to Earth, the Seaquest races to rescue the survivors while the Confederation rushes to retrieve the astronauts first. So none of the episodes really sing to me. This one was pretty forgettable. But that's our Seaquest DSV. Viper premiered today. God, this show is awful. I only watched the pilot. I think I maybe watched the second episode too. Well, the first two episodes of the pilot. Then there's the next episode. I think I watched that, and then I was like, I'm done. I rarely quit on a show, but it's just boring. And it's a sausage fest. I don't know if I explained that. One of the reasons I had a hot take in my last episode that I'm sure people tuned out immediately because they were like, he hates Batman? How dare he? What a shithead. Goodbye. Vote down, downvote. But one of the reasons I also don't like the Batman show is that it's mainly about men. I don't like sausage fest shows. And that's what Viper is. Look at the cast. And that's what Batman mostly is. I like the episodes more that have like feature Harley more and feature Catwoman more. And there's some episodes are really good and I do enjoy them, but most of them are about like, oh, the mobster's trying to kill this one guy and Batman's, I don't know. I can't remember. There's a lot of dumb mobster episodes. But Viper is about, it's kind of like, what's that, oh my God, that show that David Hasselhoff was in, Knight Rider. It's kind of like that, but the car doesn't talk. And it's a newer car. And it's called Viper. And it's got the guy from The Trials of Rosie O'Neill. Anyone remember that one? I love that show. It's my other Dr. Quinn secret comfort show, but it was only 2 seasons or so. Anyway, there's a couple babes in the show, but otherwise it just was not that good. But let me tell you what it was about. So for the pilot, James McCaffrey plays a former... Oh, I guess that's the actor. Plays a former criminal who drives a police super mace called the Viper in a futuristic city. Was it the future? Didn't seem like it. In the opening episode, the program is cut from the city's budget and is forced to move underground. Well, the guy, I found it a little intriguing that the main character, had amnesia and used to be a criminal or something. And just had this interesting thing going on with that, but it just wasn't enough to keep me engaged because... It just isn't a strong show. I think it went 4 seasons, though. So if you're a Viper fan, sorry, I won't be discussing it beyond this. Um, but it did premiere on this day, January 2nd, 1994. So moving right along, Deep Space Nine aired Sundays, probably at like 7 or so, or I forget. It was like syndicated programming, right? So it didn't really have a time slot, but it had, I believe it would first air on Sundays. So um, Deep Space Nine, I'm struggling to get into. This is the second season. Season 2, episode 11 is what aired on the second, and it's a good show, but it's not as good as Next Generation. I hear that I think once Generation wraps up, which it's in its last season right now because it's 1994. I don't care what you say. Um, it all the writers apparently go over to DS9, and it gets a little better. I think Worf goes over too, and I'm like, yay! I can't wait to see more Worf. But I do enjoy him. DS9, it's I enjoy most of the cast. I don't like to be too negative about actors and people that are still alive because so many people watch my YouTube show and I don't want to insult anyone. But I don't like Cisco. I'm sorry. I don't like him. He's like I think it was the first episode that did it. He in the very first episode of the show, we find out that his wife passed away and he is a widower and he's got raising a son on his own. But something happens in that first episode where he gets to travel back in time, or else it's a hologram or something, and relive the moment where he met his wife. And he is so creepy in those scenes that I was so turned off by him and his character. And it was just like, and his wife is a babe. I was like, what is she thinking? I'd be like, get out of here, you weirdo. He was so cringy and creepy and gross in that first episode that I can't with him. And he's so like gives such stiff performances. I've Googled, does Cisco get better as the show goes on? And I hear he kind of does. I think like somehow the goatee helps. But right now I'm still not digging him. I don't like him as a captain. I don't like him as a character. I just am like, I'm not a Cisco fan. I'm sorry. Sorry, Cisco fans, but I enjoy all the other characters. But it is the weaker Star Trek show right now. I hear it's a great show though, so I'm gonna keep watching it. It's never as good as Next Generation. Next Generation is fucking phenomenal. I love it, and we'll get to that on Monday. But yeah, DS9 is struggling still in its second season, in my humble opinion, which is usually incorrect. Let me know in the comments what a dumbass I am. So, yeah, and this episode, though, was Rivals. And in this one, Quark meets his match when a new rival opens a casino opposite his bar in the promenade. Meanwhile, the station is suffering issues of high improbability. I don't think this was the one where... I really liked the episode where Quark like met a guy and was really good friends with him, but she was actually a lady, and then they like had a gay kiss, and it was like such a great episode because he didn't know that it was really a woman, so he was really freaked out that like she kissed him and stuff, and it was a great episode. I don't think it was this one though, because this one, yeah, had other stars in it and stuff. I don't know, maybe it was, but I really liked that episode. I have no idea if this is the right episode or not, but that's DS9 that aired on the second. So, last but not least, I believe. Wait, Blue Legend Shoot. Have you heard of this anime? I sure hadn't, but I try to be as thorough as I can, so I look up new anime to watch. This airs on Sundays. This Legend Shoot. But I only watched maybe 2 or 3 episodes before I had to quit it because it's a lot for me to, like, a lot of the shows that I watch, and the reason why my memory might not be the best is because I'll watch them while I'm working or doing chores around the house. Soaps are great for that because you can, it's easy to listen and you can still tell what's happening. You don't have to sit there and watch it. But obviously this anime, especially random shit like this that you can't find anywhere. And honestly, I think the website I was watching it on got taken down anyway. But if I have to read subtitles, I have to sit down and actually sit there and watch it and take the time out of my day to watch it. And I don't have a lot of time of the day to watch all this shit. So, Blue Legend Shoot I had to cut out because it wasn't very good. The one I loved, which I don't have an image handy, is Hime-chan no Ribbon. Hime-chan's Ribbon, if you can look that one up and find it, I think there might be episodes on YouTube. I loved it. It was so good. It kind of had a Sailor Moon animation feel to it, like early seasons, but was not that it wasn't as exciting. It wasn't like an action anime. It's just like a cute sort of supernatural anime. Oh, it's so good though. Look up Hime-chan no Ribbon. It's so cute and so fun, and I loved it. It's a good kids show. I'll put it that way. But Blue Legend Shoot is a soccer show where they take soccer way too seriously. I'm also watching Slam Dunk right now, which I was like, I'm probably not going to like this because it's a sports anime. But it's actually pretty funny and pretty cute, and I enjoy it because it's not all about, oh, we're going to a new basketball match, and that's the whole episode. Anything that's like tournaments or where it's all about the new match or whatever, I can't fucking handle it, and I have to stop watching. Shirato was one of those where it was just like, oh, the new villain, and we have to fight him. Oh my god, it was so boring. Yu Yu Hakusho got like that. People have told me it gets better, but I had to stop watching a Yu Yu Hakusho because it was just a tournament, or monster. We have to fight. No character development, no downtime. It was just fight. And I was just bored to tears. Blue Legend Shoot, I think I don't know. Maybe it gets better. Like, let me know if you've actually fucking watched this obscure anime. But it was kind of cute and funny, but took the soccer aspect of the show way too seriously. Where it reminds me of this one anime about beer. Was that Tsukigano something? Forgive me, I don't remember. But I remember trying to watch it, and it was just I couldn't handle it because the main characters just talks about beer, like when you cook a beer, or not cook a beer, but like prepare a beer, make a beer, you have to, put everything into it. Making beer is life. Making beer is, and they just take everything so fucking seriously. And I cannot, I don't know why anime is like that all the time, but I feel like they get so serious about like simple shit, and they love doing that, and that's kind of how Blue Legend Shoot isn't that fucking serious, but they take their high school fucking soccer situation a little too seriously. So I'm out, I'm checked out, I'm done. I'd much rather watch like the romantic aspects of it, because it is kind of a romance anime where he's got a crush on this one girl who's I think the coach of the team, and he's got like a meddlesome sister too, and but again, like having to sit down and watch this, I had to cut it out. I am still watching Slam Dunk. And I am of course watching Sailor Moon right now. But we'll get to the anime when we get to the anime. That is the only new anime we had today that I am aware of or was watching. So that brings our episode to a close. So we'll come back next time with Monday, January 3rd. So please, leave me some comments about if you watched these shows. Try to be fucking nice. And just let me know if you enjoyed these shows, what you think about these shows, if they suck, let me know if you hate Batman. Everybody's gonna, oh my god. Anyway, thank you for watching, and come back next episode when we finally get into some real meat with primetime shows and sitcoms and a lot more of that shit as we get into our week with Monday, January 3rd. Next time on Let's Skate 1994.